but they running around in AI form because they can upload your consciousness into an artificial intelligence, into a computer chip, because the DNA is a computer chip. So all they got to do is data transfer. It's like just like transferring data from one computer to another one. But at the end, it's all relative, because we are relatives. The Earthborn, the ones that belong here, we don't always stick together, because we are the anti bacteria or antiviral. The antibodies of the planet is us. When the Earth is upset, Big Mama got a boy for every motherfucking issue that come up. The problem is every time one came up, they knew who he was before he did, so they hurry up and get him murdered. By the time he figure out what he is, he on the other side looking back down, talking about, damn, them bitches got me. Right? So this is why Martin, Malcolm, Elijah is a little different story, because Elijah is what you call, he's the signpost. He got all of the signs posted, so he becomes the signpost. When you go back in native culture, our indigenous culture over here, we didn't use flags, we used totem poles, but we also used something called signposts. The signposts, you see it in the cartoons, this way to New Jersey, this way to New York, this way to North Carolina, and this way to Maine. All that's on the signpost. And Elijah had a signpost with thousands and thousands of signs to read, and most people get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of signs they have to read, and they quit. They tap out. Surrender. You know, they get weak, scared, and then the enemy murder them. You hear that?
Yeah.
Look, it's not a rain cloud in sight. All of a sudden, the thunder. Because Big Mama told me, she said that the message is on the wind already. That means that the wind gonna be talking, and wind talking is thunder. So crooked walking, that's C walking, is lightning, and B walking is the thunder. When they start walking together, they bring the thunder and the lightning, right? Then when the mermaids, they got these other dances, we call them mermaids, but they really just tribes that was water, fishing. Johnson, those Johannes names, the ones Ionis, which means fish, before the J. So you don't know who the Fisher clans was. And now in modern times, they translate it and they tell you the Fishers. Joe Fisher, Bobby Fisher, all these motherfuckers was fishing clans. Or when we talk about Ellis Island and the immigrants, which I'm gonna be on Young Elder tonight at 9:30. We gotta do part 2 to Yakub Revisited. But when you look at the Ellis Island immigrants, and they picked up last names, they got from over here. Some of them took them back over there. A lot of us don't know that our people was seafaring people, and we went into Europe and fought wars against the same motherfuckers that came over here. That's how they got kicked out of Europe. They had help from all of Asia, all of Australia, all of South and North America. They had help kicking them out, but then they came over here because they figured that they'll go fight God personally. We're going to go strap our shit up. We're going to build some nuclear bombs, and we're going to blow God up. Nigga, God is bigger than your nuclear reaction. He could contain that shit in the palm of his hand. Go back and revisit the Buddha and motherfucking Hanuman, right? Because he told Hanuman if he can get out of the 5 fingers of his hand, goddammit, that he would give him the wisdom, and motherfucking Hanuman thought he had reached the end of motherfucking everything and looked up, he was still in the Buddha palm. It's the same shit. They trying to fight God, man. That's not a war you can win. Because even the devil fight for God. So if you immortal and you thinking you finna fight God, it don't matter whether the devil gets you or whether the angels get you. Everybody gonna fight for God when he call them, including the devil. How you know that? Go back to the book of Job. Have you considered my servant Job? Yeah, but you put a hedge of protection around him. If you lift that hedge of protection, I'll whoop Job ass. Look, go on, have at it. Job ain't gonna buckle or fold. That's my soldier. So what did the devil do? He went and put Job through hell. He said, the only thing you can't do is kill Job. He put Job through hell. When he got done, God told the devil, see, told you, you did your part, but Job did his part better. God sicked the devil on Job. So if God can sick the devil on Job, what make these dumb motherfuckers think God won't sick the devil on their ass? At the end of the day, God controls heaven and hell. So he in control of the armies of heaven and hell. That means that he can hit you from the dark side or he can hit you from the light, but he can hit your ass anywhere you want to hit you. Yep. Hey, I want to take one of these sisters in before I wrap this up. I need to get some of this divine feminine energy in here.
All right, that sounds like a plan. I'll get up with you a little later on.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace, everybody.
Peace out. I don't know what this is, but they sent me a good message yesterday, and I want to get them in here.
I was dude. I'm sorry if you mistake the picture.
What's going on with you, guys?
Nice to speak to you, sir.
Same. What you want to tell the people?
Basically, I sent you some messages because I was having some weird visions, and I wanted you to try to help me out with the visions because it was cloudy to me. But
yeah, I wasn't doing no. I'm not doing no personal consultations until after we see these three kings walking. Then I'd be in the comfort of my own office. But right now, I'm trying to get this information out. That's why when a lot of people be asking me about dreams and different stuff, sometimes the answer be so long, I just can't answer it right there in the message. You know, and then sometimes I be doing other stuff. Like yesterday, I had to do physical labor to move physical energy, right? Because the spirit was moving energetically like that, so I had to match that energy move. So I went and helped my sister do some work on her new place. But the whole thing is while I'm preoccupied, I don't give a fuck about. I hate social media. I hate this shit with a passion, dog. Motherfucker don't know how bad I hate this shit, but it ain't got nothing to do with my likes and dislikes. It's about being effective and reaching the people.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm trying to work on too. I'm trying to help the people, but I'm not trying to do anything to lead anybody in the wrong path. So I'm trying to gather as much information.
Look, remember this. This gonna always help people that want to help and don't know what to do. Whatever it is that you do know how to do, and you know how to do right, that's what you teach. But while you teaching that, learn something else and how to do it right. And then before you know it, you didn't build building blocks of education on top of each other. Then all you got to do, unified field theory, all things are related, right? Everything is connected. So if everything is connected, when you learn different fields of knowledge, there's a connection.
Yeah.
Right. So I could study history, generally speaking, and it's going to tell me one thing. But if I want to get specific with the history, I'll study medical history. I'll study legal history. I'll study Morris history, indigenous history. Now, I didn't jump from general history to what they call specialized history. And then in studying the history and you're looking at the dates and the times, you're doing math.
It's all combining into one type of knowledge. Yeah.
It's going to all come together in the end.
Yeah. I like how you do that.
Yeah. So you start off teaching what you know what's right, and you know you're right about it because you done checked it and double checked it. When I be telling motherfuckers shit, half the shit, at first I didn't believe it myself.
You have to go through it and get that physical Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to convince me first. Cause I'm skeptical of everything because I see everything as a lie. So now that I know everything is a lie, well, how do I find the truth? Right? The truth gonna be concealed in the lie. All you got to do is know the definitions. The most stuff you know the meaning of, the most stuff you can give a definition to, then you can start tying the definitions. When you start tying the definitions, you realize that the a lot of times person to have a name is a title. And a lot of titles to be names, they've been switched in order to confuse the mind on purpose. Right? When you study ancient Sumerian history, the common strategy to overthrow a god that came before you is to replace him with you.
Okay.
Just scratch his name out, put your name where his name is, and take credit for all this shit.
All his knowledge, and they're gonna look up to you for what he did.
Right, but you ain't the source. Yeah, but you won't be the source though. You just getting the credit as if you was the source. A good example is it's a book called Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Right? And it's about Azura Mazda. And Mazda, that the whole book is worship of the god Mazda. And when you're reading it, you don't know this Enki talking. You won't know his Enki until you know his character and his personality. See, they don't like me talking about Anunnaki. These motherfuckers rebelling. Fuck them. Big Mama say they gone. It's a wrap. So about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, I had posted, NASA had issued a statement saying that Enki's clan of the Anunnaki got the clearance from the Andromeda, who was the guardians of what we call the outermost posts. That means you can't get past Pluto without their consent, or they're gonna blow your ass out of the motherfucking universe.
Okay. Yeah.
The Andromeda beings look like the Predator, and except their mouth not really that exaggeration. That's an exaggeration of their mouth, but they look horrible.
They got
But
regular mouth?
them motherfuckers do not play. Matter of fact, if you want to know what they really look at, look up the Wraith from Stargate Deep Space. The Wraith look just like a Andromeda being. That's what they based on. And they got good and bad because they had some motherfuckers that would side with the Anunnaki to subjugate the Earth too. And when they Hive Queen found out, which was the leader of because they mitochondrial based like us. When she found out that they was stepping on a sister clan, she didn't like that shit. So she sent people from Andromeda to come and get the ones that was rogue from Andromeda, what they called the Andromeda strain, off Earth. Go get them motherfuckers. They not finna fuck her shit up. Talking about Mother Earth.
Okay. Right?
And the Galactic Council seen what was about to happen, but by the time they realized what was going on, the Earthborn was like, before we let you motherfuckers run this bitch, we gonna blow this bitch up. And Tahuti is set off a bomb. You can read about it in the Vimana Sutras, what's called the Vimanas Wars. That was the wars between the Earthborn and the Anunnaki.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, wait, are you gonna save this live? Because I want to look up all this information and.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it. Right. So when when the Earthborn was fighting the Anunnaki, we blew this bitch up. We dropped bombs where the Mediterranean Sea is right now. That was a big ass hole. So the Nile was diverted in order to fill in the hole. Then later on, around the volcanic explosion, Mount Vesuvius explosion, it was leaking in the Middle Earth. So they had to seal the leak. So they blew Mount Vesuvius to stop the leak.
Okay.
Right? Because it was running down and the people in the inner earth would start to flood out.
That's wild.
So that's why they blew Mount Vesuvius. That wasn't a natural phenomenon. That's why the volcanic eruption was so massive and so sudden. It was an energy pulse weapon that did it, but the purpose was to patch the hole because you're dealing with a whole nother civilization that's not on the surface.
Yeah, it's crazy how, okay, so how the Earth is built. I always look at the Earth as a body. We are like cells of the body. Is that a good way to look at it? Because that's what I feel and see.
Well, if you Google Earth chakra system, Earth got chakras. Why? How is the Earth got chakras and we got chakras? As above, so below. As within, so without. We are torsion fields. Earth a torsion field, and each one of us a torsion field. Yeah. Right? So when you're looking at it as a body, you're looking at it right. The only thing that you got to be aware of is it's feminine.
Okay.
So our masculine energy has a specific purpose on a feminine planet. Serve and motherfucking protect. That's it. The police ain't their job. They slave catchers. They was created to catch slaves, and they still catching slaves to feed their system of motherfucking oppression, subjugation, and amnesia on the original people. All that shit is done deliberately. Salute A1, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., Flintstone in this bitch. You heard that. Big Mama talking back. But sky's starting to get dark over here. I'm about to take my ass in the house. But I'm gonna say this live, man. Make sure you get the information you need out of here.
Appreciate it so much. Appreciate it so much.
For sure, for sure.
That's all I can think of at the moment. Besides, the next thing I'm working on is trying to get the family together to start getting the family banks. That's what I heard you talking on the other live. I get to my AT. She's the oldest, so I want to talk to her and start, I guess, looking into the information and getting that laid out. That's the next.
Yeah, because it's about to cut out in 26 seconds.
Oh.
But yeah, the family, start with the immediate family, do a family dinner, talk about, hey, y'all know we ain't no motherfucking Africans. They lied to us.
Trust me.
Anime tell more of our secrets than any other form of media out. Right? You could find out all of the conjure. Now, when you remember here's the key to the anime. It's the same as with the X-Men. Every one of those is a psychic ability extremely exaggerated. If you want to know the real ability, tone it down. Right? So if they moving with chakra energy from their palms, that's kinetic. Psychokinesis, telekinesis. Right? So when you're using your chi to move it, it's psychokinesis. When you only using your mind power, it's telekinesis. Right? And when you have telepathic influence, it's from clairvoyance. Your elders, your ancestors can talk to you through your clairvoyance from way back. Right? And this is why they want to tell you it's a sin to worship your ancestors. It's a sin to worship. That's where the sin at in the beginning. You don't worship your ancestors. You honor them.
Equal to everything. Yeah. You venerate them.
Right. Because you honor them because of the simple fact, not no other reason, because you came through them. If take one of them ancestors out of the equation, then you won't be here. Right? So to have a healthy respect from where you come from makes you respect where you're going to send your children to. When you cut off from your history, right, cut off from your lineage, from your blood ties to the land, there's no way you can figure out how to make this place back the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be matriarchal all over Earth. It's supposed to be broke up into 12 regions. Each one of the regions is supposed to have a grand matriarch. These grand matriarchs represents the 12 daughters of Isis, what they calling you as your 12 daughters, sons of Israel. They call them the 12 sons of Israel because they switched the gender so that we won't never figure out that the great seahorse is actually a sea dragon, which is a drag queen, which looks male but is female by DNA, right? You got the mitochondrial in the wrong place. What looked like a man is carrying the mitochondrial. She can't sit on the throne, but she can have a throne under the throne. So they exalt the throne. Look over the Pope's head. The throne is suspended. Look under his feet in the basement, and you'll see there's a whole image of the dragon beast with another seat, because that's where they draw their power from, right? Because she had a mitochondrial right to rule, but she didn't have a patriarchal right to rule. So they switched the genders of men and women.
Is that why they flipped everything on his head?
Yeah, that's how can we upside down turned around. Now, where they come from is Enlil, the one they call Yahweh in the Bible, called them here as what they call hordes of heaven, right? The hordes of heaven landed in La Palma, but Enlil landed on Mount Sinai, right? And this is why we call them Zionists.